Hey, what's happening everyone? Welcome back to the channel on this Long Song Saturday today. That I didn't know what the Long Song Saturday song choice was going to be, but here we are landing with the song Impossible Soul by Sufjan Stevens. I believe I've pronounced that correctly. Sufjan Stevens? I hope I'm saying that right. This is off of the album The Age of Ads, which, let me pull it back up because I had it right here, which was released in 2010. This particular track was suggested to me by Hippo, YNYR, so thank you so much for the recommendation. A very, very, very long time ago over on JPMP, I had reacted to, I believe the song is called Chicago by Mr. Stevens, but I have not heard a thing since. And if I'm being 100% honest, I don't even remember that song. So this, in a way, will be completely new. I mean, it is going to be completely new, but I mean, like, for Mr. Stevens, because I don't even remember that song. So anyways, yeah, I've always heard his name and such, and yeah, it's time to go ahead and dive on in, get a listen to this track. Of course, me going in, I choose the longest track, which also happens to be the last and final track on the album. Now, before we dive into it, you may be asking me, you didn't know before, but now you may be asking me, JP, what's in the wine glass? I'm going to tell you water. You might be asking, JP, why are you drinking water out of a wine glass? I mean, it's the essence of life. Why wouldn't you give it its due respect? All right, now let's go ahead and give it a listen. We'll talk about it a little bit during and a lot of it after. Here we go, guys.
Tell me what you want, and I'll calm down without bleeding out, with a broken heart that you stabbed for an hour. Woman, I was freaking out because I want you to know, my beloved, you are the lover of my impossible soul.
Love that heart.
Promise me you'll stay and put off all your woes. I was wigging out, too much worry, I could not get you at all. And you said what you want, you would laugh it off, but I know you won't go. Not for real at last, must you write it off for the impossible soul? And I was in a dream, I was gone away without you, but not too slow, lest I put it off, for I put it right for the impossible soul.
Love those drums.
All I couldn't see, I would sing it all my life to you if I could get you at all. Don't be a wreck, trying to be something that I wasn't at all.
That's kind of cool. Okay, that's a cool guitar solo. I love the electronic elements in here, even in the soul of this solo here.
Seems I got it wrong. I was chasing after something that was gone to the back of night. Now I know it's not what I wanted at all. And you said something like, all you want is all the
those breakbeat drums really add a lot of dimension to the track.
Oh, I couldn't sing. I would sing all my life to you if I could get you at all. Trying to be something that I wasn't at all.
You want to be afraid? Do you want to be afraid? For life in the cage
This is really cool.
where courage is made runs deep in the wake for the scariest things are not half as enslaved. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. Do you want to be alone? Do
This is really cool to listen to. Because I don't even know where it's going from here.
Want to love me more?
This is fun to listen to and incredibly engaging.
Cursed by the same thing that nurtured its shame. Is it worth all the world? Don't be distracted. Don't be
This is like electronic orchestration happening in such cool harmony.
You want to be afraid. No, I don't want to feel pain.
Are you guys feeling this?
Want to be afraid. No, I don't want to feel pain. Deep in the way, deep in the way, serious
We've gone into so much musical depth, and we're not 8 minutes in. That was deep. This is different. This is different. I love listening to music like this because I really can't even predict where it's going. It's exciting. There's so many beeps, creeps, glitches, and hitches going on. Like in the corners of the room.
Stupid man in the window.
They're bringing an auto tune now?
Being dressed, all my delight, all that mattered. I couldn't be dressed from what I liked, from what I gathered. I couldn't be dressed. Stupid man in the window. I couldn't be dressed. Don't be shy in the window. Come down and give your best. Oh, delight in the window. I couldn't be rest. Stupid.
Some interesting pitch bending in there,
in
huh?
the window. I couldn't be rest. From what I liked, from what I gathered, I couldn't give my best.
inspiration and encouragement and reaching that mountain that you've been climbing for so long. Almost sounds like Final Countdown on those notes, synth notes.
It's a long life. Better pinch yourself. Get your face together. Better roll along. It's a long life. Better pinch yourself. Put your face together. Better stand up straight. It's a long life. Only one last chance. Could it get much better? Do you wanna dance? It's a good life. Better pinch yourself. Is it possible? Is it possible, boy? We can do much more together. Better get a life, get a life, get a life, get a life.
It's that Daft Punk solo.
We can do much more together. Better get a love, get a love, get a love, get a love, boy. We can do much more together. Better get a right, get a right, get a right, get a right, boy. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible.
It's like they have this pop song in the midst of this grandiose epic. Doesn't that sound a little bit like Final Countdown? Just not the second part.
It's a long life. Better pinch yourself. Put your face together. Better get it right. It's a long life. Better hit yourself. Put your face together. Better stand up straight. In the wrong life. Everything is chance. And the register. Do you wanna dance? In the right life. It's a miracle. Possibility. Do you wanna dance, boy? We can do much more together. Better get a life, get a life, get a life, get a life.
Little note change in there.
We can do much more together. Better get a life, get a life, get a life, get a life, boy. We can do much more together. Better get it right, get it right, get it right, get it right, boy. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible.
Those horns are coming in heavy and hard.
Not so impossible. It's not so impossible. It's not so impossible. Do you wanna dance? We can do much more.
Straight electro pop.
It's not so impossible.
We Daft Punk now.
It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together.
I like how the female harmonies came in stronger on the choir section there.
We can do much more together.
I feel them singing like with their chest out here.
We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together. It's not so impossible. We can do much more together.
Like how it's come down from such grandiose terms to something more intimate. This is an adventure. Oh, I love those notes. Very nocturnal. This new Castlevania DLC? And it came back. Like the change there. Same lines. Sounds different. Why? Not even a fade in, just a sharp cut.
I never meant to cause you pain. My burden is the weight of
there's a lot to chew on, a lot to bite on, a lot to talk about with Impossible Soul. Okay, so much to go into on this one. I have a lot of thoughts on the lyrics. I have a lot of thoughts on the music. Just everything. Before we get into that, press the like button. Just get it out the way while you're here. Okay, so I mentioned it 2 times during this song, but I really enjoy a song like this where I'm pretty much completely unfamiliar with the actual artist. I don't know what they really do genre-wise or music-wise, and it's a 25-minute long song, so it's going to be some sort of adventure. It's going to be some sort of trip. And at no point in this song, as I was listening to it, whether it was 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, at no point did I know what was coming next. And you're probably thinking like, JP, it's your first listen. Of course you don't know what's coming next. But hear me out. When you've listened to so much music, and I'm talking about you guys as well, just anyone that's listened to a lot of music, you can kind of, figure out to a certain extent, and most songs will stay in a certain lane, you kind of know where it's gonna go. To an extent, right? Like you have an idea where it's gonna go. Even if it's not in the typical verse-chorus formula, most artists stay in a certain lane and they go. Stevens didn't stay in a lane, he stayed on an 8-lane highway that covered so many different grounds, but yes, it was all moving in the same complete direction, which I thought was fascinating. As lane changes happened in the song, he would give a signal. It's not like it was unturned or it wasn't like it was it's a surprise, but it wasn't not foreshadowed. He gave us clues. He gave us a little signal. He said, okay, I know we're turning. I don't know where we're turning, but we're turning, we're changing lanes. Especially in the beginning, I felt so strongly. The mixture of electronics throughout, obviously, and then orchestral sounds, symphonies, big horns, the glitchiness of so many of the electronics here. The guitar solo in the beginning was amazing. I love how it wasn't just a straightforward guitar solo. The notes were cut off, glitching out, and continuing on. And it just built this sort of suspense, but a palpable sense of excitement with that suspense. It was a happy suspense. We're like, man, this is, I don't know where this is going, but I want to be in that car. I want to ride, what's the word? You ride share. What is it? What's the word? I forgot it. Anyways, you know what I mean. Stevens sounds really, really great singing here. There's a lot of different dimensions and feelings that he puts into his singing and his voice. And speaking of which, there's a lot of different effects that are put on with his voice, which we're going to talk about as we go into the lyrics, because I do think that there is a little bit of I have a theory, but we'll save that for a little bit. You have some other singers here. I was looking at the personnel list for the album, but apparently the personnel list is very limited. Like, I guess maybe there's not a lot of information on who's doing what exactly. So while I can't speak to specifics on who's playing guitar or who's doing whatever they're doing, for example, since I don't even know anything about Stevens, I don't know what he plays or if he plays any other instruments besides him just singing. So I can't speak to it, but I can tell you I really enjoyed his voice. Speaking of all the production, I guess we can go into this a little bit. In the middle section, there's that moment where the song goes into an auto-tune section, right? Now, let's just get it out the way. Everyone has this thing against auto-tune. Pitch correcting has been in music for decades. It's been out there, right? It was just made popular probably in, the 2010s and such, and late 2000s with music. And you have artists like T-Pain who are probably one of the hallmarks of auto-tune and using it. And yet, if you hear him sing, he sounds amazing without the auto-tune, but he uses it for the effect. Okay, we've obviously heard in this track, Stevens sounds really good without auto-tune. So why would he choose to put auto-tune in that particular section of this song? I have a theory, but I'm going to save that till we're going over the lyrics. But even that sounded cool, because I would describe the first part of this track as kind of like this electronic, progressive electronic, electro-pop kind of symphonic thing. And then that section where they repeat, what are the lines that they repeat over and over and over again for quite a while? You would think I would know it, right? It's a long life, better pinch yourself. Boy, we can do much more together. That part, it almost transformed into a pop song with a few extra little bells and whistles thrown in, but a pop song nonetheless. And then, like I said, it moves into that more electro pop direction in the third quarter before settling down into some really beautiful acoustic guitar playing and really lovely vocals to end it all out. But it's the journey and the progression through the story, musically and lyrically, that I think is really impressive and how it's all brought together so well. The choir sounds really good. I mentioned it during the song, but especially in the last part where I'm really feeling and hearing them, you can really hear the individual voices within the choir. And I think that, along with everything else in the track, is courtesy of the wonderful production and engineering and allowing certain voices to not lead necessarily, but just to be picked up a little bit more. Certain sounds to be picked up just a little bit more. The depth of some of those deep bass notes when it hits, it just resonates in a different way. So I think a lot of credit needs to be made towards the production side of things, which once again, I don't have any notes on who's doing what. So whoever they are, they did good. They did good. What else? Musically, I think that this was just really cool to listen to. Kind of like what I mentioned too with the whole lane changing and how there were signals to tell us like, okay, we're merging or we're changing lanes. I do think that for the most part, each of the transitions happened really nicely. In the beginning with the, like you had almost two drums. You had the deep, I don't know what the groove was, what, boom, 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 right? That continued for, I don't know, a good amount of time. But on top of that, you would have those breakbeat electronic drums that came up like that. And then it kept on growing and progressing in a really organic way until they were both almost indistinguishable. And then one would carry on while the other backed off. And then later on, the other would come forward while the other backed off. It was just really cool to hear all that work being done. Anyways, that's all I got to say. All right. Let's dive into the lyrics here, which lyrically, I think that the song is basically about a relationship that's perhaps on the cusp of failing because Stevens is looking at himself as an impossible soul, like someone impossible to deal with. But this other person's like, no, there's so much more to this, as in the relationship. There's so much more to us. Let's keep on trying. And I think that's kind of what the story is. I would like to say that this song may be a little bit autobiographical. Once again, I don't know anything about Stevens, so take all of this as just conjecture, theory, and whatever. But several times, like the choir, the other singers involved, call out Stevens' name specifically. So I feel like this is in some way more personal perhaps than, well, not than what the lyrics represent, because the lyrics are pretty personal, but I think it's personal. Okay. Woman, tell me what you want and I'll calm down, without bleeding out with a broken heart that you stabbed for an hour. Woman, I was freaking out because I want to know, my beloved, you are the lover of my impossible soul. Woman, too, promise me you'll stay and put off all your woes. I was wigging out. Too much worry. I could not get you at all, and you said what you want. You would laugh it off, but I know you won't go, not for real at last. Must you write it off for the impossible soul? And I was in a dream, I was gone away without you, but not too slow, lest I put it off, for I put it right for the impossible soul. So we are walking into the story. We are walking into the proverbial room in the middle of a dispute of sorts. Some sort of domestic altercation. It seems like he's feeling that he's been hurt by this person. He says, with a broken heart that you stabbed for an hour. I guess they got it out. She got it out all on him, and he's, I don't know. I don't know. He says, and all I couldn't sing, I would say it all my life to you. If I could get you at all, don't be a wreck trying to be something that I wasn't at all. Seems I got it wrong. I was chasing after something that was gone. To the black of night, now I know it's not what I wanted at all. And you said something like, all you want is all the world for yourself. But all I want is the perfect love. Though I know it's small, I want love for us all. So once again, we're just getting kind of deeper into this dispute between them. And I'm just speaking maybe out of turn, but like you can feel the personal, the emotions running really high. You know when you get like in an argument or a fight or anything like that, like where your emotions just running high and like you're not even thinking straight. I feel like we're nearing the cool down period of that in this particular verse here. And then I guess in this part you have Shara Nova who's singing, and she sings, do you want to be afraid? You want to be afraid. For life in the cage, where courage's mate runs deep in the wake for the scariest things, are not half as enslaved. Don't be distracted. Do you want to be alone? For life isn't stained of righteous pain. The seed and the hail are all impossible flights for an interesting light. Don't be distracted. Do you want to love me more? For love is the breath of water and wave is cursed by the same thing that nurtured its shame. That's a good line. If water and wave is cursed by the same thing that nurtured its shame, is it worth all the work? That reminds me of Fela Kuti's Water Get No Enemy, in which in his lyrics he's describing like, yeah, water is the essence of life. Jeez! You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Water is the essence of life. It's necessary for life, but at the same time, you can drown. You can be capsized in a boat. It can kill you. And I feel like she's saying something similar here. Have you failed to feel delight? No, I don't want to feel pain. There's a conversation here. Have you failed to feel delight? No, I don't want to feel pain. Instead of a life lived tired and lost, have you left it at last where it floundered its death with the language of ghost? All of this that we just read, I basically feel like it's them saying, are we giving up? Are we through? Like, are we done? Is this going to be it? Is this the last fight? And it repeats from there. I'm not going to read every single line because a lot of it's repeated here. Skipping ahead, stupid man in the window, I couldn't be at rest. All my delight, all that mattered, I couldn't be at rest. From what I liked, from what I gathered, I couldn't be at rest. Stupid man in the window, I couldn't be at rest. I feel like he's talking about himself. Perhaps they've separated at least for a moment. He's looking out the window. He's describing himself, looking at himself from afar like, stupid man in the window, look what you've done. Now you're here all alone. And where is she? And then the back and forth with the choir and Stevens saying, oh, I know it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe to breathe at all. I know it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe to speak at all. So maybe that was like his internal dialogue during the actual fight. And then here's the part where he actually calls out Stevens himself. It says, hold on, Suf. Hold on, Suf. Hold on, Suf. Hold on. It's a long life. Better pinch yourself. Put your face together. Better get it right. It's a long life. Better hit yourself. Put your face together. Stand upright. And this repeats for quite a while. So obviously the actual term and the phrase, pinch yourself, to wake yourself up, get yourself out of a dream and do whatever you're going to do. But maybe pinching yourself's not enough. So then they say, hit yourself. Do whatever you got to do to wake yourself up out of this stupor, this dream, whatever's happening that's pulling you down, emotionally lethargic. Pull yourself up out of that, pinch yourself, hit yourself, whatever you got to do, and get your life together. And then that whole back and forth is, boy, we can do much, much more together. Better get a life, get a life. It's not so impossible. So once again, I feel like this is the relationship, like one party, I think she's saying, we can fix this. He's feeling it's impossible, his impossible soul. But she's like, no, it's not impossible. And that repeats, like I said, for quite a long time. Which that's that pop section that I kind of said, and it's building up, building up, building up. Okay, let's take a quick break from the lyrics because this is where I wanted to bring in that whole auto-tune part. This is my theory crafting, okay? Work with me here because I'm still kind of putting the popsicle sticks together to make this little, I don't know, remember when you were in kindergarten and you got popsicle sticks and you had to build a little something. Okay. At that particular moment, the voices change. We have Stevens, we have a choir. Eventually, Stevens moves into that auto-tune. And then eventually there's like vocoder that's thrown in. There's a lot of that kind of thing. Let's think literally. Literally, auto-tune is used to take and let's I'm just using this word for this purpose, okay? Take an ugly voice, an unsatisfactory situation, and make it better. Matter of fact, not even make it better, but make it perfect. Make it sound perfect. And yet at the same time, it's just a cover. It's just a veneer. It's not the real person underneath. So, I feel that in this particular section, when those lines are being repeated over and over, boy, we can do much more together. It's not so impossible. I feel like that is a veneer. That is the hopeless romantic and not the real person beneath. That is the, no, we can still do this. It's not impossible. We got this. We can make this work. But that's not real. sounds good, but it's not real. And then later on, the voices change back to their real voices. You got to press the like button for that. Come on. Come on. I think that... And then the energy comes down off of that, and we get into the next lines here from Stevens. I never meant to cause you pain. My burden is the weight of a feather. I'm talking about that. I never meant to lead you on. I only meant to please me. However, so where he says, I never meant to cause you pain, but at the same time he says, my burden is light as a feather, he doesn't feel guilt or like a burden, but it's true. I didn't mean to hurt you, but at the same time, I'm not regretting my actions or what I've said. And then he says, I never meant to lead you on. I only meant to please me. There's a selfishness there. However, and then you tell me, boy, we can do much more together, which comes back again. I'm nothing but a selfish man. A selfish man. I'm nothing but a privileged peddler. And did you think I'd stay the night? And did you think I'd love you forever? And then you tell me, boy, we can do much more. Boy, we can do much more. I gotta tell you, girl, I want nothing less. I want nothing less than pleasure. And then it goes back. I gotta tell you, boy, we made such a mess. We made such a mess together. So in the end, I don't know. I think that the lyrics and the story could go one of two ways. I think they've had their fight, and now they're both tired in the corner, in a sense. Tired in the corner and saying, man, look at what we did. We made such a mess out of this thing. Like, can you believe that we did this and you said that and I said this? And I feel like that's what the conclusion of this arc is them in the corner in their respective boxing corners and just kind of like reflecting over what just happened. It's like, was it in Ted, the TV show, when Ted and whatever, not Mark Wahlberg, but his character, like they fight, they get into it, and then they back off on the corner. I don't remember. I've only seen that scene. But like I feel like it's like that. This is their mid-fight, well, hopefully end-fight conclusion and talking to each other. However, I don't know if these lyrics are, man, we made such a mess, we are right for each other, or if they both spoke their truths in a sense and perhaps they're incompatible and maybe it won't work out. I don't know. To me, it's kind of open-ended, but perhaps there is an actual answer somewhere, from somebody or something. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know how long this video has been going on, but that is, I think that this was an incredible piece of work. I think that this was really, really cool to listen to. Like I said, it's definitely very adventurous in every single spirit. I just want to see if I can possibly find something here on Wikipedia that maybe mentions like where Steven's inspiration was for this track or anything like that, but I don't see anything here, so I got nothing else for you. I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to the song with me. I hope that you enjoyed listening to me talk and blah, 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 blah. If you did, press the subscribe button if you haven't already. I would appreciate that a lot. Press the like button as well. It helps a great deal in getting this channel and video out to other people who may be interested, may want to watch, or maybe not. I don't know. That's up to you. But I would assume if you got to this point, come on. Thank you as always for being here. If you want to support what I do here on the channel, you can sign up on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. It goes a long way, but obviously you don't have to do that. I just enjoy you guys stopping by and watching and talking down in the comments. So anyways, please have a wonderful rest of your day, a great weekend, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.